We're back on Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel. Max Barr, what a day in SEC basketball. Are we all the way back? Like all the way back. An Arkansas win, a Kentucky win. Everybody else so far, knock on wood. I mean, we said, remember, we came into the slate, we're like, hey, this is a big day for the SEC. And if they lose a lot of these games, like, danger zone time. But man, the Hogs step up, the Cats step up, get their first big win of the season, 72-60 over Indiana. We got all these other teams winning. We'll talk about them later, but my goodness, what a day. Oh, yes, I agree.
Come on. We needed today. We all collectively needed this bad. Big time win. Here, okay, guys. So I'm going to pull up the first 3 comments. This is before we even went live. Okay, this is just the first 3 folks that hopped in and commented. These are the first 3 comments. There's the first. There's the second.
Oh, wait for it.
And there's a third. Mo D, and some more Mo D. Come on. Best game of the year for the reigning volleyball player of the year. Torn ligament? What torn ligament? Maybe everybody needs to tear a ligament. Start tearing more ligaments. Come on, Mo D. Fire me up. Hey, the offense, this, that, the other, may not have been perfectly smooth, but you got fight. You got effort. You got defense. You got intensity. You got aggression towards the rim. All those foundational things we were like, where the heck is it? Bang. Right when you need it. Big time, Blake and Chris. Welcome in, Chris. How you doing?
Look at this.
Good
Chris
evening.
said, I've seen enough. He said, I'm sitting back this whole season watching the Cats in these big games. It couldn't even stomach it. But he said, all right, they're reeling me back in too now. I'm all the way back. And I think Chris can confirm, just as I will. We got the Cats in the Final Four.
You two dog the Cats and look at them now.
Yeah, they needed
it. They needed it. They needed us, Mark Pope. They needed everybody out there questioning them. And Max, the big story here, and Chris, you can weigh in with your thoughts. I said, what happens when Kentucky faces more adversity? So far, they have just completely melted down when they faced adversity. And in this game, let's all be honest here, okay? When that score is sitting there at halftime and you're thinking, uh-oh, like, are they going to pull this thing away? And I'm having that same question because of everything I've seen to this point. And I'm just wondering, are they going to make enough plays? And then the adversity hits, these guys give it that little extra something, make the plays, come out with not just a win, a 12-point win, which don't forget, that's going to matter on your resume. A little 12-point victory. Good stuff from the Cats.
I have a question for you two. If we take the names off the jerseys, you're watching them play Gonzaga a few days back, and you're watching tonight, particularly in the second half, which is most of what I got to see because of some other stuff. Does that even resemble the same Kentucky team in the effort? Because in my mind, we said, hey, this team has got some limitations. It is going to have to reinvent himself. It's going to have to play really hard, scrappy, hard-nosed ball and really get after people. It was a headache for Indiana to try to take the ball in the paint or score inside. There was Kentucky grabbing all the offensive boards. Like, it didn't even look like the same team in the same zip code in terms of effort compared to that Gonzaga game.
Well, you didn't have Mo D in that Zags game either.
Yeah, but Mo D wasn't a 40-point difference. But
he's the spark. I know where you're headed. Like, he's the spark. Yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean, they looked like a completely new team. Especially Jalen Lowe too. His offense it's kind of tough to watch almost, because if you know Jalen Lowe's offense, he can really fill it up. He really can, and he's finding other ways to impact the game right now. His shoulder, it's going to be an offensive issue, but where is it not an issue? Staying in front of your man, running, flying around, fighting through screens. How about Lamar Wilkerson? He was the talk of the preview, Blake, coming off of the record-setting performance from 3. And he gets foul number 4 with 18 minutes left, 17 and a half minutes left in the second half. And there was no ticky-tacky, that terrible third foul, terrible fourth foul. No, Kentucky was aggressive and drew those fouls and attacked him. And that was game plan. That was intentional. And look at the result in the second half there. Indiana's offense just completely falls flat without Wilkerson out there. That was due to the Kentucky aggression.
Yeah, I mean, let's call it what it is, too, all right? So Indiana gets a season high in turnovers in 18 in this game, tying into both the things you guys just mentioned. They go 4 of 24 from 3. Wilkerson could not get the shots. Obviously, complete contrast from last game. Good game planning. You didn't need a lot of scouting on him. You could have just turned the tape on and said, here you go. But Kentucky goes 3 of 15 from 3. If I'd have told you Kentucky's going to go 3 of 15 from 3 in this game, how many people would have said, that ain't happening in terms of a win? So it ain't happening. There you go. And I'm going to bring up this comment from Brent. Brent's having some fun in the chat right now, like a lot of people are, 600 plus of you.
Sure.
I don't care if Kentucky was playing Carlton Banks and whatever the hell team he played for in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in high school when he threw the ball off the top of the ceiling or whatever. This team needed a win against a team that somewhat had some talent, all right? And I'm not knocking the other teams they beat, but in terms of talent that compares to them, that's why we said, you could only take so much away from the games they won after the losses they've had this season, because they were all against those 300-ish type teams that did not have the talent that could match Kentucky. But when you have a team like this in Indiana, is Indiana going to win the Big Ten this year? Of course not. But let's not act like if you're sitting in that same spot and it's your team, you wouldn't be sitting here. Put some respect on Bel Air High, as Bill says. I couldn't remember if it was Bel Air High or whatever it was. But it doesn't matter. You're going to take this any way you can take it. So I'm not going to knock Kentucky in any way tonight coming out of this game. That's one of those games you just got to have. And they got it. Credit to them. Bravo. Applause. Will they have to play better against better teams? Of course they will. Who cares? 72-60. They win the game tonight. They prove that they can handle some adversity. And that's going to mean something, I think, moving forward.
I was a second late to the stream. Did you guys call out the final turnover stat?
For which team?
For the game.
I mean,
17 to 3.
I think it was 8. Was it 8? I thought it was 18-4.
CBS has 17.
Oh, CBS. I'm just kidding.
CBS.
Come on.
We love you, CBS. Baylor Academy.
Here's a little pop quiz, guys. So this is free throw rates. All right. I talked about Kentucky's free throw rate all offseason. Said, don't worry about the lack of shooting because you're going to have one of the best free throw rates out there. All right. What do you think Kentucky's so their free throw rate tonight was 65.5%. Okay. That's a season high, 65.5% free throw rate. What do you think their previous season high coming into tonight was? If tonight was 65.5%, what do you think the previous season high was?
Chris is a numbers guy.
No idea.
It was 43% against the Zags. This was a season high in team free throw rate for the Cats by 22%. You want to talk about flipping a switch and leaning into an identity. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, I mean, you called it this summer. And that's why we've been kind of not laughing, but we just kind of been sitting back has anybody sort of, paid attention to the data in the summer of what told us, this is how this team has to win? And you kept saying, I mean, you said it, Max, hey, they shot 15 threes tonight. I'd have brought up the fact they only hit 3, but that's great that you only shot 15.
Great.
Beautiful. Beautiful thing. This team, I know the 30 is the magic number. This team does not need to be shooting 30 every game. Because if you can be aggressive the way they were, and sure, they left some free throws on the table, but you missed 13 free throws and win by 12. Now, again, there are going to be a lot of people who knock the opponent and all this and try to run down Indiana. Say whatever you want. I don't really care about that argument. I think this is a Kentucky discussion because I think it's when you saw the 6-4 start and the way they got to the 4 part of that, it didn't matter. Like, it just, you wanted to see the things. What are they going to try to change? What are the coaching staff things that are going to stand out in terms of what they try to change? And you saw a much more aggressive team here. And again, just a team I thought that, I'm not going to say they figured it all the way out because I think we're too early for that. I'm, of course, half joking when I talk about placing my Final Four bets, folks. I'm not placing the Final Four bet just yet on the Cats, although I'm curious what that number's at. By the way, if you didn't get the number earlier on Arkansas, I'm curious if that moved, Max, but we'll find out in a bit.
It did move. It moved a lot.
Did it? Uh-huh.
Yep.
As it should.
Yep.
So, I don't know where the Cats will stand in the SEC conference win over at FanDuel. Bet responsibly no matter what you decide. But I think, again, you're going to look at the bright spots, and we may accentuate some of those tonight because guess what? There ain't been many bright spots to accentuate so far. And you better believe we're going to lean into this because we're rooting for the SEC here, folks. We need some big winners. Got a lot of big winners today, but the Cats easily one of the biggest winners. Good team performance. Look like a team out there. Didn't look like a lot of individuals playing on different pages. They look like a team. When things got going, they banded together. That's what you want to see.
Here's a stat for you guys. Jalen Lowe played more minutes tonight than the entire last month combined.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And I was going to say maybe he was kind of your MVP. I think it's Mo D based on the box score. I mean, that was a dominating. But, I mean, like, with the shoulder and everything, he hung in there. He was taking it to the paint. He was making stuff happen. He was dishing it out. Like, it wasn't a great box score line, but they needed him to step up and give them what he gave them tonight.
You want to talk about an MVP? How about that broadcast crew?
Yes.
How about that broadcasting crew? What a breath of fresh air from Jay Billis going, that's a foul. That's a foul. That's a foul for sure. That's a foul. Yeah, give me Barkley and Vitale every day of the week. That was a fantastic broadcast.
I emailed Jay earlier, see if he'd come on the show tonight. Well, not going to now.
He's probably complaining about a foul.
Man,
that's all he ever does.
Brutal.
I like the way you say it.
Hey, Chris, I was kind of even critical of Jalen Lowe coming back so soon because I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, just like a few weeks ago, we didn't even know if he was coming back at all this whole year. Yeah. Get him out there.
I mean, at this point, they kind of have to have it. They've got, you at least saw an identity that they can win some games with. They're not going to go out and, 15 of 30 people from three, I don't think. But tonight felt like something that could work for them.
I agree. And look, I'm going to bring this comment up too. Like, I understand it's we got a lot of people in the chat who are not Kentucky fans and understood, but like, even if you are, like, I think you just got to take the positives here. It's at this point we're talking about a coach potentially getting the boot at some point if they were to lose this game against Indiana and St. John's. And everybody thought that was ridiculous, but we're talking about Kentucky basketball here. You're not going to be 0-6 in your big games going into SEC play and feel confident about where things stand. So I think it's just like, hey, take this one for what it is. You can have the perspective of knowing that you're going to play better teams. You have to play better to beat those better teams. But you're not going to sit here and dismiss a win like this in any way. At least I don't think you should. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. But I'm not going to dismiss it because I've been talking about how bad this Kentucky team has been. And if you've not watched them play, then you're missing something because they've been that bad. And to see them again, the adversity part, I think, is the whole thing here. That gives you something. I'm telling you, that could be the biggest thing we look at. If they go beat St. John's next Saturday, I don't know if they're going to or not. No clue. But if you see them go win that game and you see them start to build a little something, it's going to come on the heels of, hey, we came together. We're down at home. People were booing us 5 minutes into the game. How about that? And they're booing them 5 minutes into the game out there. They couldn't score. They getting booed 5 minutes in. But then, all right, let's just sit that to the side. We've heard it all. If there's a team that's heard it all already this season, it's Kentucky. They've heard everything. And yet they find a way to win. I don't care what Indiana's record winds up being. Indiana right now is 8-3. I don't care if they wind up being 8-50. It's not possible. But you're going to take it, folks. They lost at Louisville by 9. I hate to bring up the L word here. They're not a bad team. So, come on.
Chris, I think you brought up a great point. And it kind of adds on to what you're saying, Blake, about like, I don't care that it was, if Indiana is going to be great or not, because say Kentucky won this game, but there was it was 90-88. There was no defense. There wasn't a lick of anything, any sort of resistance around the rim. Garrison still didn't play well. And you just won because Trent Noah went 6 of 7 from 3. That was not this game at all. Mm-hmm. This is something that you can do consistently. They only shot 66% from the free throw line. Could have won by more. This defensive effort, free throw line, the aggression, that can be a foundation for this team.
Well, these guys still have not played a lot of ball together. And you see a lot of times teams flip a switch January, sometimes February, and it looks different. And it looked a lot different tonight. And I think your job as Kentucky was like, you've got some games that, first of all, what you don't want to get is in one of those spots where you lose so many games that you get to March and it's irrelevant. You've dug yourself such a hole you can't make it up. And until you get to that point, your job is to hang in there and kind of figure it out, right? And they did that. They figured out something that they got a quality win, and they figured out something they can kind of copy and paste going forward, rather than just, another shovel of dirt on the season tonight. So anyway.
$5 super chat.
No, can we just be honest here? Josh, how many of our streams have you been in this year? Football, baseball, basketball. I'd say Josh is probably top 5 in terms of live stream attendance in the history of the channel. But come on, Josh. You know me by now to know that not everything I say is 100% serious, okay? Not everything I say is 100% serious. But if it tells you to give $5 to the channel to tell me I'm crazy for picking Kentucky in the Final Four, we'll take it, Josh. No, I don't yet have the Cats in the Final Four after this one. But you know what? You ready for some coach speak here? Kentucky went 1-0 on Saturday. And that's all that matters. They went 1-0 on December the 13th. And that's all we care about.
They're streaking.
They are streaking.
2-0. They're flying 2-0 machine.
Streaking in the quad. They go to Bed Bath & Beyond. Nice little Saturday.
Hey, jokes aside, though, you know why this game is, even if Indiana, whatever, the reason that this game is so important, because you didn't have quad 3 wins. You didn't have quad 2 wins either. This was like you needed something for a resume, just something to sink your teeth into. Finally, you got that now. Got that out of the way.
You went to the Olive Garden and it was lovely.
Yeah. Kidding me? Nothing but quad 4 wins? I'll take a quad
right.
3 win today if I need it. Come on.
What's the Olive Garden reference?
Blake was dropping oh God, what was the Will Ferrell movie?
Old School.
Old School, thank you.
Yeah. Drop a little Old School line in there. Although the Will Ferrell fans are not real fans of me right now. I did a reveal on the mailbag yesterday for our members that Elf was the most overrated Christmas movie I've seen. And they were not happy about that. He's my favorite actor, but it's overrated. Nonetheless, speaking of Buddy the Elf, he did not play tonight in this game. But, listen, I'm going to stick to it for now. I think that's all you wanted to see. You didn't expect a perfect performance. I don't think anyone should have expected them to say, "Oh, it's disappointing that you won by 12 in a big game." You'll take it. I thought this was way more about what does Kentucky do versus who the hell are they playing. It didn't matter. This was a step up from NC Central, so I wanted to see how they responded. To getting embarrassed a week ago in the most embarrassing performance for Kentucky basketball I can remember in a long time, and they came back. Knew the assignment, improved on the things that they were bad at in that game and have been bad at all season. They took a step in the right direction. I think it was Chris that said that earlier in the chat. That's the best way to put it. Took a step in the right direction. Now, can you build on it? We're going to find out next Saturday because that's where things start to get important, right? It's, all right, we've taken this step. Now we got to figure out how we build on it because this is a giant step for this particular team. This is a giant step because of where they've been this season. And don't forget, they start SEC play on January 3rd at Alabama. So you want to be hitting your groove, and this is a step to get you closer to that.
XP asked real quick. Ask these dude. I wonder what dude he's talking about, or if he just forgot the S. But ask these dude if they think Kentucky is good. I'll wait. I don't know.
Tonight, good today.
Tonight was good. It was good defense. It was good effort. It was good heart. There was connection. Tonight was good. Are they going to be a good team? Great team? I don't know. Tonight, they were. That's all I got for you.
I don't think they're good. I mean, they were good tonight, but here's the point. They were 35 in the net coming into tonight. They'll probably go up a spot or two based on that, and they haven't killed their season while they figure something out that might translate going forward. And that's what you needed. It was a great day for Kentucky.
Yes,
or at least a really good one.
It was a great day for the league.
Yeah, it was an outstanding day for the league, and it's not over.
Yep.
How does Alabama look? Shoot.
We got a little debate in the chat right now about Elf. Some people saying Kentucky Jones is saying, "Hey, come on, what are we doing here?"
Max, did you weigh in on Elf?
I love Elf. I just think Blake is being an angry Elf right now.
I'm with Captain Crash.
Yes.
If there's anybody I trust in this world more than you two guys, it's Captain Crash, to be honest with you. So, yeah, just saying.
You sit on
Pete
the throne of lies.
Pete as well. Pete also wanted us to make sure we got to the anytime you say look at this message in all caps, we're going to find a way to get to it. But super chats are also the best way. You guys know that by now. But, yeah, you need JQ. There's no question. When JQ comes back, we're going to see a different team. And I'm not saying it's going to make them a top 5 team, but you're going to see differences in terms of how they're going to do their rotations, how he's going to play into, everything. And I think, yeah, that's now the big question is beyond, can you turn this into something against St. John's, who, by the way, has also not been great this season? Then, I think that's the question with JQ coming back and seeing how that goes. So
and now we have 6 days to get ready for St. John's. You got a whole week off to build on this momentum. So Ken Pom right now, as I don't know, maybe unhappy as we've been with Ken Pom so far, Ken Pom's got this as a 1-point game, 78-77.
Yep. So should be interesting. We'll have it covered, of course. We'll preview, give you our prediction. The KOD, someone mentioned it earlier. Finally, we got it to work for Kentucky. It took a while, but we did finally make it work. All right. Super chat here from Brock. Appreciate you, Brock. $2. 5 on the floor. Lowe, Owe, Modi, Williams, and Garrison.
Just wait to see if Cam maybe starts making some shots. Real hesitant right now. He's not. He had a few opportunities where he was open in the past few games. He's been letting them fly, and you can tell he's a little gun shy right now. Just if they add that stretch 4 element with Cam, I mean, there's still more to unlock here.
Yep. All right. Shane's going to be there, by the way. We might get live report from Shane.
Ooh.
The game next week against St. John's. Might
nice.
see if Shane can get us Rick Pitino. Maybe line that up, see what he thinks about this whole thing. Of course, I'm talking about Elf, not Kentucky basketball. Yeah. All right. Any more super chats? You guys send it in our way. We are going to get to some quick thoughts on the other games, because the reason why this is going to be a bit of a expedited stream is because, well, Alabama and Arizona are playing right now, and we would like to go keep an eye on this. It's at halftime, and Alabama leads by 2 at the moment.
I might full fade on my picks. Like,
did you?
Well, I picked Indiana and Texas Tech and Arizona.
Right.
I just said SEC.
Forgot about that.
You haven't been doing well with me picking you.
We were both on that train for a while, but for some reason I decided to lean into the SEC except for Kentucky. For obvious reasons at the time. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the fade works. All right.
Gators? Bulldogs?
Here's what we're going to do, okay? I'm going to quickly tell you about our fine sponsors, and then we're going to just do some quick hitters, okay? Because we'll talk more about this in power rankings on Monday. We also are going to go ahead and give you our plans for tonight. Arizona, Alabama. That thing's going to finish here in a little while. We are not going to do a live stream after that game. We're going to probably do it tomorrow morning. So just TBD on that. The reason why is because, well, we're not getting to watch the whole thing right now. I'm not going to sit here and give you it all while we're not watching it. So I'd rather go back, watch the game, and get you what you need for that. So even if Alabama triumphs and gets the win tonight, we will probably be doing that tomorrow morning if that happens. So just a programming note there on that. All right, speaking of programming notes, if you feel like, I don't know, I don't have a great transition, just go to the Yearly Company. There's my transition right there. I was going to pull out an Elf quote, but
That was awful.
the thing is there's no good ones. So there are no good Elf quotes. But I'll tell you who's great. That's the Yearly Company. Nashville-based fine jewelry, built on tradition, designed for meaning. Solid 14-karat gold, natural gemstones, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Every Yearly Company bangle, custom size. Knowing your size, the most important step before you order. If you're doing it for the holiday season, well, you've waited too late. I've heard that a couple times this past week. Apparently, you can't just assume stuff's going to be ordered and sent to you the next day. Amazon effect. But if you want to go to the Yearly Company and you say, you know what, hey, I'm a Kentucky fan. I was in Nashville for the Zags game. My team just beat Indiana. Come on. Like, you know how down I was in Nashville for the Zags game. Give me a pick-me-up. They're going to do it. 100% off on the sizing kit. 100% off. SE16 gets the code. SE16 kit, 100% off over at the checkout at the Yearly Company. SE16 kit, Yearly Company. All right, and ROKFORM, world's strongest magnetic foam case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock, secure mounting. Man, there's another transition there somewhere, but it's 9:30 at night, and I just don't have it for you. SEC.
You didn't want to throw your phone tonight in Lexington. There you go.
No, well, I mean, they've probably been putting ROKFORM to the test here this season, but not tonight. SEC 25, 25% off over at ROKFORM. As Holly says, son of a nutcracker shop at Yearly. Was also told earlier, I sit on a throne of lies. I do know where that comes from. So, all right.
Oh my gosh. What a super chat.
Is this the first time ever? Big Baller Brett with a $2 super chat. I think it's the first time we've ever had anyone send a super chat in the bathroom. Unless some of you others can confirm.
Let's go.
Let us know. Don't get too graphic, but let us know in the chat. Have you sent a super chat in the bathroom before? Because if you haven't, then you're not Big Baller Brett. He is live at Legacy Arena at halftime of the Alabama-Arizona game. So there you have it. Tremendous. All right. Oh, by the way, sorry. Sometimes we don't get them all. We did read your super chat, Brock, did we not?
Yeah. It was a lineup,
$5
right?
here. Just wanted Kentucky fans to see this when they click on the video later. WPS. I tell you, the back and forth between Arkansas and Kentucky fans really keeps our super chat business going. Earlier today, we had Josh sending in, I think, $20 to just give a little shot at the Big Blue Nation. Tremendous. You guys keep it up. We enjoy it.
Life is a little better when Arkansas fans are salty.
Oh,
this is better for us.
Kentucky and Arkansas getting back on the same day. Boy, it's a big Southeastern 16 day here. Let me tell you. There's nothing we've been wanting more. So, all right.
And I didn't weigh in for that one because I had places to be, but I did see about half. Arkansas looked terrific today. Just going to throw that one out there.
Don't say that on this stream. Careful. Cal drew up a great inbounds play. I brought that up earlier. Hope Kentucky fans weren't listening. He drew up a great inbounds play.
He did.
Leave your jokes in the chat on that.
Before we jump to other games, Arkansas was plus 2,000 this morning to win the SEC regular season. 20-1. They have moved. What do you think they're at?
800.
Oh, wow. Way too much. 15-1.
That's where I'd put them. 15. That's not enough.
Yeah. They jumped from 20-1 to 15-1. Same with you. I'd probably move them up higher because Kentucky and Tennessee are both plus 800. So I would put the Hogs right there with them.
Still some value there if you're a
Or
Kentucky
maybe
or
even
Arkansas
more,
fan.
to be honest.
You think you're getting on track here. All right, what about Georgia? What do they think? Plus 2,700. They're saying, look at us. Come on. The Bulldogs. All right, let's do some quick hitters here. We're going to get rolling because I want to watch some of the second half of this Alabama-Arizona.
Yeah.
All right. First up, Max, we're just going to play, we're going to bounce back and forth here. You take your pick, Chris going to take his pick, and we'll just keep alternating. So your pick.
Well, my mind is on the Bulldogs right now. My mind is on the Bulldogs. I watched the whole game. It was the first tip to finish Bulldog game that I've watched, and gosh, I was impressed. The first half was tough as nails. Baba Miller and Cincinnati's got a lot of length. They were a tough team, and then I think it was well into the second half. Georgia hadn't made a single three yet, and then they just pour it on. 84 points. Shooting 19% from three. I forget who sent the tweet, but it was like, this Georgia team is actually a machine right now. They are a machine, and they're just not getting respect. Blake, they're up to 22nd in KenPom, I believe. This is one of the best teams in the SEC right now.
Yeah, a lot of people waiting on the downfall of the Georgia Bulldogs and Vanderbilt Commodores. I hate to tell you, I don't know if that's coming anytime soon.
I don't think it's happening.
With the way these two teams have been playing so far. Again, the competition will get better for both. We've mentioned that numerous times. But man, it's the way they're playing. And I think that's the thing right now. The big separator for, I think, several teams in particular, and it's Vanderbilt, Alabama, Georgia, has been just how good offensively they can be. They seem to have that just next gear right now, and it's the way they're playing too. As we said, who would have thought Georgia would be the third fastest team in the country this season? So that was the kind of game we weren't worried about, but we said, this is technically would be their best win of the season so far. They had a 3-point overtime loss to Clemson, came out, handled their business, still can't shoot the ball worth a lick, but that's okay. They're finding ways to win as the number one 2-point shooting team in the country, shooting 65% from two. Their style is terrific, and they are, knock on wood, Georgia fans, going to be 12-1 heading into SEC play.
Yeah.
Anything less would be a disappointment. They play Western Carolina, West Georgia, and LIU before they get Auburn at home on January 3rd.
I'll take Vandy for a minute.
That's good to talk about.
Went to Nate Bargatze today, so didn't get to see as much as you guys did. Saw some of that one. Vanderbilt didn't look great today, but Tyler Nickel had 30, scored their first 14. They looked kind of underwhelming today. First came back from exams, but they've won every game, but won by double digits.
Yeah. Is there any significance to, Tyler Nickel putting up 30 and if you told me before the game Tyler Nickel had 30 and he hit 8 threes, I'd say, they won by 87.5.
Yeah.
I
mean, they were 28%, 29% from three today. I mean, they're not going to do that a lot. Tanner was really good today too. Tyler Tanner had another one of those, plays a few more minutes, maybe has a triple-double kind of games. Little foul trouble with McLaughlin and Okereke. I think they tried to get Harris going a little bit today, which is, I thought he was going to be a big factor for them early. He's slumped last month, so maybe that was part of it. I mean, they were just, you play enough of these games and you're going to have one of those that's just not your day every now and then. I just think that was kind of what it was. I mean, it's a 5:30 start. Either everybody's at Nate Bargatze or watching the Heisman thing, and it was what it was. They hadn't played in 10 days, and it kind of looked like it.
They were sloppy. 13 turnovers. Central Arkansas shoots a lot of threes. They hit 9 of them, but it just felt like one of those games, right? It's just one of those games. I mean, it's like, hey, our biggest knock on Vanderbilt now is going to be we only beat Central Arkansas by 11 when you just completely obliterated everybody else in your path except for Western Kentucky and an 11 a.m. tip in the Bahamas the day before Thanksgiving. So, I mean, they're up 23 with 11 minutes to go in this game. I'm not. There will be many who read into this way too much. I'm not reading into it all. We will start reading into Vanderbilt. And again, you talk about those hoping for the downfall. They've already got their DVR set. I don't know if DVR is still a thing, but it's set for next Wednesday at Memphis. You have a lot of people rooting on the Tigers to put a stop to this dominant Commodores group. We'll find out. All right.
It was a big day of relief for the SEC. The Cats fans get to take a deep breath. Hogs fans get to take a deep breath. You know who else gets to take a deep breath and say, just get off my back, okay? I'm playing well. Xavier Lee. He has been fantastic for about 5 games now. Maybe fantastic is a little bit of an over-exaggeration, but dang, he's been good. I've watched pretty much every game. And he's the eye test is passed. He's not just stuffing stat sheets late in games. He's playing better than Boogie Fland right now. He's playing better than Irby Klabchar. He's the lead guard on this team, and he's making things happen. He's knocking down shots. He's creating for others. He's drawing contact, and he's doing what he's always done. Defensive rebounded at an elite level from his position. All of the hate Xavier Lee got, and honestly, it was like a cyberbullying attack. Like just everyone down on Xavier Lee. He says, yeah, get out of here. I'm confident again. I've got my mojo back. So that was my takeaway from Florida. Xavier Lee's back.
3 of his last 4 games, he's been really good. And I think we said it was going to eventually click for this guy. He's too good a player for it not to. And like I said, it's, like you mentioned, it escalated to a point that unfortunately that's how it works in this era. It was never, talk about some differences, it was never a question of effort with Xavier Lee. It was just a matter of this was a guy who clearly mentally just had hit a wall and was trying to figure out how to get around it. Because that's the kind of stuff. Once you start off the way he has and Florida's not up to that defending national champion level and you lose the first game and all of a sudden, again, it's the mental stuff, I think, more than anything else. But we said GW would be kind of an interesting game. I know they had just lost at home to Delaware before we said that. We're like, hey, look out for them. Then they lost to Delaware by 12 at home. But, not surprised it was, kind of a somewhat of a close game there at the end. But they were also up 20 in the second half. So, that was my biggest takeaway, too. Let's keep talking about Xavier Lee in a positive way. Let's not just judge him on the first several games of the season. He's bounced back and looks pretty good right now. So,
did you guys watch any of Oklahoma State?
Oh, are you kidding me? Max Barr not watching the Sooners? Sooners?
Hot box.
I caught a bit of that. What did you guys think? I mean, I don't know how good Oklahoma State is, but it was one of 7 undefeateds.
You want to talk about taking a deep breath. I mean, this was a huge day for the SEC. Just a huge day. Xavier Brown, the lead guard next to Pack, was in a slump of all slumps. Brutal mental slump from outside. Hadn't hit an outside shot in forever. Bang, breaks through big time. He hit a 3 very early in the game, and that snowballed. He was his last 3 games, and these are all big games, guys. Marquette, Wake Forest, Arizona State. He was a combined 0 for 14 from 3. 3 of 5 tonight, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 3 of 4 from 2. Player of the game, 5 assists, only 1 turnover. They won the game because of Xavier Brown's leadership. It was fantastic. And then Tay Davis is on, double-double watch almost every night now. If Xavier Brown is making shots, Nigel Pack is going to. They're not a bad team if Xavier Brown's making shots. When he's going 0 of 14 in 3-game stretches, they're going to struggle.
Hey, what was wrong with Pack today when he came out of the game for a hair? Did you guys catch that? The broadcast crew was making a little bit of a deal. Like he had a hard time standing up for a bit.
I didn't have the volume on that game.
Okay.
I was just I may have just looked away at something else and didn't catch it.
He came back in, and that's about when I had to leave. So I didn't know if that got addressed in the post game. But that was just kind of weird.
You can only have the volume on one of the quad box. And,
no, that's true.
It didn't have the volume.
Or you just get 2 TVs. That's what you do. And then you can do quad box on both of them.
The Octo box.
Mm-hmm. The Octo box. I like it.
Oklahoma's been a little up and down, but you're going to take this because remember their next 3 games before SEC play against three teams that are ranked 344th or lower in KenPom. So you'll take this. Nice win at Wake Forest. You win this game. They're going to feel better about themselves heading into, by the way, a very winnable first 3 games. Home against Ole Miss, at Mississippi State, at Texas A&M. So Oklahoma may find their way here and get off to a pretty good start in SEC play. We'll find out. All right. Let's keep running through these quickly. The game has started in the second half. LSU gets a big win over SMU, 89-77. I thought that's huge for LSU. I mentioned them this week when I did my column for the Basket Under Review. They were in the Who Are You section. Who are you?
Yep.
Do, 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 do. I'm sure they won't get copyrighted for that, my singing. But
I'm pretty sure we will not.
I don't think we will. I don't think there's any comparison. But, I mean, I said I didn't know who they were because they had just lost Jalen Reed for the season. They got trounced by Texas Tech, and you're thinking, uh-oh, is this the downfall? Barely won at Boston College. But, man, that's a great win to bounce back for the LSU Tigers. Man, they just keep getting it done. Sutton and McKinnon, they have just been incredible. Thomas, of course, goes without saying, but I still think that's a solid SMU team. Surprised maybe to hear me compliment SMU, but it's a pretty solid team, and LSU just gets a nice win.
Yeah, I mean, Yigatolu had 8 offensive rebounds. Like, that's not a bad team at all. You got Yigatolu down low, is one of the best bigs, and then Boopy Miller and Pierre are just, they fly around nonstop. Max McKinnon is like the Tyler Nickel of this team, maybe just to a less extent. But he's the guy out there that has the potential to flame throw. You can get a night where Markel Sutton makes a few shots. Maybe DJ Thomas makes a few shots, or they'll throw in Carter off the bench or something. King really hasn't been too efficient from outside yet. But McKinnon's the perimeter shooter on the team. Ron Zipper he gets in for like a minute each game. But when Max McKinnon is making shots, it opens up that mid-range that where Reed, and Sutton usually operate. So anytime McKinnon's making shots, LSU's going to have everything else as a foundation. When McKinnon's not making shots, the offense looks a little rough.
All right. Any other thoughts here? Let's quickly run through the rest because we're going to probably have to speed up a little bit here. Auburn 92, Chattanooga 78. The Tigers, that one was, I think, interesting for a bit down the stretch, wasn't it?
That was sloppy.
It was just a sloppy game. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. But, yeah, I mean, Keyshawn Hall doing his thing, loading up the stat sheet. Pettiford, that's the thing, too. Like, we talk about a guy who started the season and we're like, uh-oh. It wasn't he was playing bad, but it just I think some people just expected this guy's going to come out and just score 30 every game right off the bat. It didn't happen, but now he scored 50 points combined the past 2 games, 77 points in 3 of the last 4. He's finding his way, and it's really, I think, the 3-point shooting is what really stands out to me because, Auburn's been pretty good in that. I think that's going to be the thing, right? If we're looking up at them, like they've obviously been a team that attacks get to the free throw line, but they can add that 3-point shooting element via Pettiford, and they hit 11 threes in this game. That's something to watch out for.
You got a week off now before you got to play Purdue. Yeah. And this is one of those games where I haven't been able to watch Pearl's press conference yet. But This is one of those games where you win, you feel horrible about winning it. Like this I think this will be a good thing for the whole week. It was sloppy. It was a sloppy defensive game. They should have scored 100 in this game. Easily could have. And so I like that. You get a win to bounce back off the Arizona game, and now you got a week off to prepare for Purdue. And each of those practices are not going to be complacent practices. It's going to be a grind week for Auburn, which I like.
All right. Who else do we have? We have a couple more. By the way, Arizona's on a run here. I don't like that at all.
You have the Mississippis and South Carolina, I think, are all that we have not hit.
Well, the Mississippi State game is ongoing, but we don't like. I don't like the
looking
chances. Good. We'll see. All right, yeah. Let's do quick hitters here on Ole Miss 71, Southern Miss 67. I mean, Max, I think it's kind of the same story. I mean, they played a lot of guys. I think they're still trying to figure it out, but some of that was, I think we know who the guys are going to eventually be on this team. But again, we've had some surprises so far, right? You've mentioned some guys that we thought coming into the season would be playing a ton, who are not playing a ton right now. Cameron did not have his best game. Storr was very consistent, I think, to start the season in terms of the scoring output. Dropped off a little bit the last 2 games, only scored 8 points combined against Miami and St. John's. Comes back with 21 here in this one. Ole Miss just a hard team to figure out right now, in all honesty.
They're gonna go as far as Cameron takes him, and he's been pretty poor the past month, honestly. When you look at his offense,
I wrote the column, I think, since I called him the greatest thing since sliced bread, he's not been as great.
Yeah. So. When you look at his offensive ratings, he was over 100 each of the first 5 games. In the past 5 games, he's only had an offensive rating of 100, north of 100 once. The past 3 games, O ratings of 70, 98, and 59. Really has slowed down. And then, like you said, you're not getting anything from Corin Johnson or James Scott, which we expected. Lineup is still all over the place. And I mean, geez, a 4-point win against Southern Miss, that's a disappointment. That's not good. They're not a good basketball team right now. They're not.
I just think it's like, and that's what How You Doing said, like they're playing a lot of guys, but I don't think that's by design. I think that's by just trying to find something that works long term. And again, they broke the 4-game losing streak. That's good, but yeah, I need to go back and look at Chris Beard's press conference after that one. I'm curious to get his thoughts on that. All right, and then South Carolina 71, the Citadel 55. I don't have a lot from this one. Citadel's one of the worst teams in the country from an analytics standpoint. And yeah, I'm going to keep saying it. I think I'm higher on South Carolina than probably you guys are. And I'm not saying I think they're going to make the tournament necessarily, but I do think there's some clear upside there. But also I can't say that with 100% confidence just because, the best win at this point is the Southern Miss team we just talked about in overtime. But, they were right there with chances. I mean, again, we talk about teams that are maybe 4 possessions away from being unbeaten right now. Like, that's kind of how South Carolina feels. Lose the game in overtime, very winnable against Virginia Tech, lose it by 2 to Northwestern. Butler was 7, but I don't know. It's going to get – I don't even know if they finish in the top half or anything. I'm not going that far, but I could see them being a little stingy for some teams, maybe.
They're going to upset some teams this year in SEC play. They got a top 5 3-point defense right now. Number 5 national 3-point percentage defense. They're only allowing teams to shoot 25% from 3. And when you look at the amount of 3-pointers teams are taking, 3-point rate, 3-point attempts per field goals attempted, they're 8th in limiting those. They're only 30% of opponent field goals against South Carolina are 3-pointers. So they're top 10 in the nation in limiting 3-point attempts. And then when you get them off, they're top 5 in those going in. It's a fantastic perimeter defense. Everything else, you could have a little bit of work on, but they're gonna upset some teams in SEC play just by being stingy on the perimeter.
All right, Chris, anything else before we hop off?
Did you see Justin's super chat?
We did miss a couple super chats here. Let's grab those real quick. Zatorius, me and the Mrs. Zatorius are back in on the Cats. Good to see. By the way, we did get our usual Kentucky volleyball update. Volleyball team eliminates Creighton today in the regional finals. Beat Indiana on the same day in the same city. Doesn't get much better than that. We got to maybe do some more live streams on the Kentucky volleyball team. We hear about them a lot. We'll see. All right, and then let's see. $2 super chat, Mother Carol, Mo D, MVP, happy 22nd birthday. Oh, to be 22 again. Man.
Max, how did it feel when you were 22?
Well, if you ask Sam,
3
Max
years
was
ago?
born 4 days ago. So Sam always brings up this pop culture stuff and acts like Max has no idea what it is, and because he thinks Max was born in 2012.
If something happened before 2010, Sam acts like I wasn't born yet.
All right, Justin super chat, $2 super chat. How far is this performance dropping Vandy in the metrics. Well, they're taking a bit of a dive.
3 spots.
Three
Or
spots.
Four
in
spots.
Ken Palm today.
7
so
to
far.
11. Yeah. It's like I said, this is a big week for Blake and Max versus the Vanderbilt critics next week, because if they go drop these two at Memphis and Wake Forest, we might do a watch along for the New Haven game just to get back on track. But
Well, actually, Vanderbilt only dropped 3 spots. They dropped from 7 to 10, but then SMU didn't
play well.
didn't perform their expectation, and that dropped Vandy from 10 to 11. So it's the Mustangs' fault. Get him, Blake.
yeah. All right. Shout out to all of those watching around the world, including Saudi Arabia right now. We'll go Big Blue over there. I assume there's a chant going at this moment after the win. So, all right, Holly, we're talking about going back to being 22. I'd wreck my life in whole new ways. Well, if that's not a sign off, I don't know what it is. What a way to end this stream here. We got to go watch Alabama, Arizona. The SEC's back. Kentucky's back. Arkansas's back. The whole crew.
Come on,
Maybe not
Tide.
everybody.
Down by 5.
We need a Tide to pick it up right now, because if we can get a Tide win to cap off this day,
Pretty good day.
easily the best single day of the SEC season thus far. Maybe even without the Tide win, but that'd be quite a boost if we could get that. So, all right,
Well,
we're out of here.
We're out of here.
all right. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. God bless you all. For Max Barr, Blake Lovell, I'm Chris Lee. You're watching Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.